This is one of the hardest Sec 3 EMath questions I've seen in a very long time, and can you do this question? So over here, we are asked to evaluate this expression, right, this equation, and what that basically means is that we are supposed to find the value of x. So how exactly are we supposed to find the value of x? Just by purely using the laws of indices. Now, I know that some of you take EMath, and of course, we can just use logarithms to figure out what's this value of x, but just for this exercise, since it's an EMath topic, we will just use the law of indices. And it's actually fairly simple. You just need to know how to spot the patterns in the question. So we know that anything raised to a power, for example, 2 to the power of 2 is basically 2 times 2, right? You have 2 copies of 2. And then let's say you have 2 to the power of 3, it will be 2 times 2 times 2, right? So you essentially have 3 copies of 2 multiplying each other. So what does that mean in this context over here? For 3 to the power of 38, what we have is essentially 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Over here, we have 38 times of 3. On the other end, we have minus 3 times 3 all the way 37 times. So over here, on the left bracket, we have 38 times of 3 multiplying each other. And on the right bracket, we have 37 times of 3 multiplying each other. So what we can do is that over here, you see that I split this into 2 boxes. Here, I have 1 3. And then that means over here, I'll have 37 trees, right? And over here, I have 37 trees. So what that means is that I can take out 1 3 out of this bracket. And that will essentially give me 3. And then inside I'll have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And now inside this bracket, I'll have 37 trees left, because essentially what I did was that I took out one of the trees. And then when I minus away 3 times 3, I essentially have another 37 trees over here. So what does this mean in terms of index notation? This means that 3 to the power of 38 minus 3 to the power of 37 can be rewritten as 3 times 3 to the power of 37 minus 3 to the power of 37. And if you take a look over here, essentially what I get is 3 apple minus apple, because 3 to the power of 37 is the same as 3 to the power of 37. So when I have 3 apples minus 1 apple, my final answer is 2 apples. So my final answer over here will be 2 apples, which is 2 times 3 to the power of 37. Now, if you were to take a look at the right side, we have 2 over 3 to the power of x. If I were to change this to index form, I will essentially get 2 times 3 to the power of negative x. Because in your laws of indices, you will learn that 1 over a to the power of n gives me a to the power of negative n, right? So this over here is a multiple. We can take the 2 out and we will get 1 over 3 to the power of x. Comparing this with this, we essentially have 2 times 3 to the power of 37 equals to 2 times 3 to the power of negative x. The 2 can spread out each other, and then we get this over here. Now, since this base and this base is the same, can directly compare their powers. So we get 37 equal to negative x. And since we want to find the value of x will be the subject of the equation, just have to shift this negative sign to the other side, and therefore we get negative 37. And that is the final answer to this question.